Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool and this is EverQuest Project 1999. And today we are on the green server. On the level 5 Shadowknight. If you notice, I do have some buffs right now. A nice druid came by and gave me some buffs. I didn't ask for them. That's usually my condition for it. I don't go up begging people for buffs, but if somebody swings by and just offers them to me, then, I'm not going to decline. Name was Pudding Time. Shout out to Pudding Time. But we are going to be going over something today, another kind of list video, but we're on the Shadowknight, level 5. I found a little cool camp for this guy. 6-minute spawn, little lizard camp that I was doing until the druid pulled up and gave me buffs, and now I'm out running around trying to kill as much as possible. But I'll show it to you here in a sec. But I wanted to go over my top 5 favorite dungeons in EverQuest, especially P99. Up until Valius, basically. I gotta do location. Where am I? So I gotta get to 50. Okay, I'm going the wrong way, huh? I think. No? Huh? Okay, so 50 is where my camp is. It's at the end of the path. If you take the last left before you get to Inethul, there's a little forager camp. And it's out from the wall at around negative 50 or so. So here's the forager. It's blue, or it's white this time. But I got these buffs on. Whites are fine for me anyway. Like, the buffs are just going to make it easier. But there's foragers here, and then there's mystics here. And so far, nothing has been worse than white. The first two, there's two here. I had to break the camp. There was two blue foragers, so I kind of got lucky on that. Because if there was two whites, it might be more difficult, of course, to break the camp. But now that I have the camp broken, if it's just one white pops, I can take care of it. Even if it's a mystic and it's blinding me, I just don't move. But my top 5 favorite dungeons in this game. Now, I haven't gone and done every single dungeon in the game. Let's make sure we can see and everything. Okay, we got 4 p.m., so we're going to do this video quickly. Or I can pause it and stuff. Alright, there's my other guy. I'm going to let him stand there for a second. 6-minute spawn. I'm going to give him a couple minutes to stand there, so I don't have them spawning back to back. Plus, it's a mystic. Those are a little bit harder. But of all the dungeons in the game, what are your favorites? Put them in the comments, because I want to make a series where I go over, like, every single dungeon in the game. Like, maybe take my necromancer through every single dungeon or something. Because I've not seen some that you guys probably would be surprised by. But just reading off all the dungeons here, we got Befallen, Black Burrow, Kazakh Thul, Runny Eye Citadel, High Keep, Lower Guk, Nagafin's Lair, Soul B, Najina, Permafrost, Kanos, Aqueducts, Solicisk I, Soul A, Split Paw Lair, the Temple of Solicisk Row, Upper Guk, the Hole, the Warrens, and, correct me if I'm wrong about if I miss any here. I'm just reading off the wiki. Dagnar's Cauldron is not one, sorry. Crushbone, Kedge Keep, Mistmore Castle, Unrest. We got Shardok, City of Mist, Dalnir, Howling Stones, Kaesora, Karnor's Castle, Kern's Tower, Mines of Nurga, Old Sibyllus, Temple of Droga, Vishon's Peak. We got Crystal Caverns, Dragon Necropolis, Siren's Grotto, Sleeper's Tomb, Temple of Vishon, Tower of Frozen Shadow, Velkator's Labyrinth. So I think that's pretty much all of them. And I'll start with my least favorite and go up to my favorite. It's kind of a tie for my number 5. I can't remember, is it Mines of Nurga or Dalnir that was cool? Let me click on it. We'll get into a fight while I look at this. I'll try to get you some good views as well if I can. Oh, we're blind, so I'm not going to touch the controls, and I should be fine. But I think it's... Which one is it? But I gotta say Unrest is probably tied for 5th. You got the jack-o'-lanterns, they're freaking awesome. You got a lot of different camps. You can stay there for quite a while till like level 30. It's in a good part of the world. Like if you're a gnome or a dwarf, it's over there by Butcher Block and everything. So pretty cool dungeon that I like. It's got the basement with the werewolves and the tentacle terrors and the ghost dwarves. It's got Hag Tower. If you're like level 35-ish, you can still, get experience there. You can get experience there from like 20 all the way to 35, maybe even a little bit lower. So it's a cool little dungeon. Let's see if I can kill this bat. It's yellow, but I got buffs on. I don't have my Well, I probably should have tried it. So I think Unrest is probably number 5 for me. I know I'd never played it before until I did my Enchanter, and it's one of the dungeons I wanted to experience by being over on that side of the world. I've done Mistmore too, but I never gotten to the castle, so I feel like I haven't experienced that one all the way through. And a lot of this, like I said, a lot of the dungeons that I read out, I haven't even done. So this is gonna be my personal favorites. I think, is it Mines of Nurga? It's the one in Warslick's Woods. It's pretty fun. Frontier Mountains, Temple of Droga. So that's not the one. So it's Dalnir. Dalnir is pretty cool. If you've never been there, it's a really cool dungeon. It's difficult, though. It's difficult. It's off Warslick's Woods. But just to finish up Unrest, the main room, the fireplace, you can solo in there. There's undead, so necros can solo. You know, it's good for clerics. It's good for enchanters. Just grouping, it's good there. At the main room, you got the fireplace. There's some decent loot in there with the Savant, I think its name is, the Ghoul Savant. And then you got the basement with the boots. Got Hag Tower. You can level up to like almost 40 in there. So you can start around 18 to 20, and you can level all the way to 40. Unrest is pretty sweet. So it's my 5th favorite, and I got 6 p.m., so it's probably getting pretty dark. But also I love Dalnir. If you've never been into Dalnir, you should check it out. But you need to bring like you can't go in there solo at like level 25 or something. It says 25 to 35. It's off Warslick's Woods. It's in Kunark. You know, it's right by where the brutes are. So if you've ever done the brutes, it's like that's the caves right outside of that dungeon is where the brutes are. So it's pretty sweet. It's got like 3 levels, and there's like these oozes you can kill, and it's just like a really deep dungeon. If you've never been in there, like you walk in and there's like, it's tight quarters though. It's really tight quarters, and then you can like go to the right and there's like not too much that way, but if you go to the left, there's like this temple, this building, and it's like a nice little spot to fight outside of there. Then you go into the building, you have to jump down a hole, and then there's the second level, which is pretty neat. And then you got all the way down the 3rd level, and you got like I think you got like the Clies down there, and like the oozes, and you can go all the way to the end, and there's like a portal you can go into, and it'll take you back to the beginning and stuff like that. But you should check it out if you've never been into Dalnir. It's pretty sweet, and you know, some loot down there off the oozes is decent as well. I can't think of any of it at the moment. I guess I could look at it here. What do we got? Robe of Dalnir, elliptical veil, bamboo bow stick, greenwood bow stick, grave sandals I think are pretty good for like casters, 2-handed practice sword, worm-eaten gloves, fighting baton. There's a lot of monk stuff and then a lot of caster stuff. Serpent wood staff, robe of the Faki, tattered arm wrappings. A lot of monk stuff if I remember right. So if you have a monk, I can't remember if they're if it's no drop and stuff, but it's pretty sweet. Let's kill this guy, then I'll pause, and we'll come back when it's light out, and we'll talk about number 4. But yeah, I might get blinded here. Got an even, so it's gonna be a tough fight. I still got my buffs on though. But yeah, number 5 for me, Unrest and Dalnir are tied for number 5. Sweet, sweet places if you've never been there. I'm sure most of y'all have been in Unrest, but maybe you've never been to Dalnir. Dalnir's pretty sweet, so you should check it out. But let's finish up this fight, and then we'll pause up so you guys can see. It's getting to be 7 p.m. I'll just kill some in between. And then we'll get to number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1. What's your favorite? Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear some cool places to go. Like, what's your favorite dungeon? And tell me why. And maybe not make it like a super high. Like, I don't want to hear like Plane of Hate or Plane of Sky. Or, you know, Shardok's like probably the hardest thing I would ever do. So, you know, even that. I don't know. But look at my experience. It's going pretty good. But yeah, I'll pause and be back with you for the rest of the list here. Alright, y'all. I'm kind of worried I'm about to ding. It is still nighttime, but we're standing by a campfire, so hopefully it isn't too bad for now. But yeah, for number 5, I have Dalnir and Unrest. Another thing to say about Dalnir is barely anybody goes there, so it's like always open. With Unrest, you can go there, and you're probably always going to be able to get a group because there's all kinds of people there all the time. But with Dalnir, there's barely anybody ever there, so you either have to be like kind of higher level, on the higher end of the level range, or you got to bring a bunch of people there. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm not saying you're not going to die, but it's pretty fun in that it's crazy. Yeah, let's kill this Mystic. Mystic, before he buffs, please. He is even, so this is going to be a tough fight. Let's get right up on him in case he blinds us. And we can, oh, it's going to be a tough fight. All right, number 4, my 4th favorite dungeon is Tower of Frozen Shadow. I just tried that one recently as well. I ran my necromancer up through it and was pretty fun. You got to get a key from each floor. You got to have like a special spawn happen, which will give you a key to then open the next door and go to the next floor. You had like the wedding, the floor where there was the wedding. There's all kinds of cool enemies there, like the armors and you know, the genies and the specters. So it's pretty sweet, pretty cool. The boss even killed me on floor 6. It's pretty hectic. You go through like mirrors, and sometimes there's just a bunch of crap on the other side of the mirror. So it's pretty fun and hectic and difficult. And there's like 7 levels to it. 6 has like 2 different sides, and I don't know. It was super fun. I got a cool dagger from there, like a dagger worth like 2,000 plat that can summon bandages. Just really fun with the key mechanic and going through the mirrors and having to have the key to get to the next floor. And if you die, what are you going to do? It's just one of those type of deals. And if you've never been there, you should try it out. It's in Valius. So far we have one from the old world, one from Kunark, and one from Valius. So I'm hitting all the expansions on this. But Tower of Frozen Shadow was really fun to me. Level 1, you got the specters and the dogs. Level 2 is the library, which was like okay. The angry librarian and all that. And then I think 3 was the hard one, right? 3 was like the difficult one with the armor dudes, and then 4 was the wedding. And there's our ding, and that's what I wanted to show. But Tower of Frozen Shadow, if you've never been there, you should check it out. It's freaking sweet. It's really fun. Cool mechanic with the keys and the mirrors. The wedding. You know, the genie on that floor with the specters and the traps and stuff like that. So go check it out. I have videos on all these dungeons, so I have a ton of videos on Unrest with my enchanter. I think Dalnir, we did like shaman and necromancer. I ran my necro through the entirety of Dalnir, which was really cool, I thought. Same with the Tower of Frozen Shadow. We almost went all the way through that bad boy. We were on 6B, like, on the boss, and the only thing we didn't see was 7. So if you want to see any of these dungeons, you can check out my videos on them. But yeah, Tower of Frozen Shadow, one of my favorites, in Valius. You should check it out. But just be careful. Have a backup plan. If you die with the key on your body, you can't go back to your corpse. So you got to have like a backup plan, like either somebody else with a key, summon corpse, something like that. But yeah, really cool Tower of Frozen Shadow. I'm going to go back to pausing so we don't have to watch old Thuggish in the dark here. Alright, I think it's getting light enough out here that we can finish up this video. But yeah, like I said, for number 5, it was Unrest and Dalnir. Unrest, everybody knows. It's nice. Main room, fireplace, basement, all that good stuff. Dalnir, not as many people know about it. The oozes, the 3 different levels going down. It's basically the opposite of Unrest. You kind of go down instead of up. But barely anybody there. It's kind of crazy. You got to check out my video on it. It was nuts. Like, just things running around all over the place. Nuts. And then just farming there is fun, too. And going all the way through it's fun. The Cly and all that. But Tower of Frozen Shadow was next up. Super fun. You know, you got the Shadow Beasts and the Specters on the first level. You got to get a key to go to the second level. The Library, the Angry Librarian, all that business. You get a key there to go to the Servants' Quarters, where you have, like, the armor dudes and the Enraged Shadow Beast. The 4th floor is the Crypt. That's the crazy one where you go through the mirror and it's just like nuts. Like right away, you got Anamana Papa Poopa Peepa and Kara Amika. Go check out that video. I died there a couple times going through the mirror. The 5th level, the wedding, I didn't die there, but it was cool. Just like having a wedding there. A big room full of, you know, undead having a wedding. It was pretty sweet. And then the floor after that was the one I did die on with the genie and the specters and all the traps and stuff. So go check it out. That's my 4th favorite, the Tower of Frozen Shadow. All right, number 3 as we fight this Mystic, who is now blue, so it shouldn't be too bad. I got to keep an eye on timers here. It's a 6-minute spawn, so keeping my eye on it. And in between this, I'm running along the wall killing jungle spiders. I don't know if they're still blue or not. The spiderlings were blue and green, and the spiders were like blue and white. So I'm sure now like most of the spiderlings are green, and the jungle spiders are probably more blue now. So I'd probably be looking for the bigger ones. But yeah, my number 3 favorite dungeon is Karnor's Castle. Mostly for nostalgia reasons, but I did do a couple videos there on my shaman, grouped up in like right courtyard, left courtyard. And that's just some of the most action-packed, grouping I've had in the game over my whole EverQuest career. Has been in Karnor's Castle. I used to pool there with my warrior. I'm kind of rusty with it right now. I know there's a hand in there, and there's like, what's his face, like the dude, like the main boss of Karnor's. But just being there at the entrance is fun. Being there at like a moat group on to the left or the right is fun. Just pulling there is fun. Then getting into a right courtyard or left courtyard group is like some of the most action-packed grouping you're ever gonna have. So, yeah, Karnor's Castle. Shout out to that place. I think there is some sort of faction in there to where I didn't want to do it on certain characters, but if you don't care about the faction, it's a super fun place to level in like your 50s, maybe late 40s, early 50s-ish. But let's look it up so I can give you a little bit more information. This giant bat goes right to this camp, and it's yellow, so eventually I might start killing it, and it would be like a third spawn here. We got Karnor's Castle. So, we got... This dungeon is one of the highest level dungeons in all of North, and as is such, is very dangerous for many reasons. First of all the monsters that you meet are at least 45th level, and many are 50s. This means that they have some very powerful abilities, including complete healing, gating, etc. Secondly, it is very difficult to separate spawns when pulling, and most of the time you will need to fight at least 2 monsters with every pull. This requires either an excellent puller or a very well balanced and functioning group, or an enchanter for crowd control, and it is recommended to have all 3. That's what I kind of loved about it, was the pulling aspect and then the enchanter. Like, 2 of the funnest things I ever did were pulling with the warrior in Karnor's, and then, an enchanter in Karnor's is pretty fun too, which I haven't got to do yet, but I did back in the day. The layout of the dungeon is also notable. There's only one major exit for the zone, and everyone entering and exiting goes through one common area. It is important to remember this when either entering the zone or fleeing a train to the zone, in order to keep yourself or others from getting killed. Typically, you should enter from the right-hand southern side and flee to the left. Be sure, however, to find out the local server rules regarding this. Lots of trains there, yeah. It's kind of like Unrest with the trains. Monsters also seem to have a long aggro range and will generally attack you from seemingly large range. They will jump out of the moat to join in, and that it's like Crushbone in that too, like with the moat and everything. Like that can screw things up if things fall in the water, you fall in the water. Oh, dude, I forgot one dungeon. I'm gonna have to make a tie here, another tie. I'm so sorry, but Vinral Sathir is there. He's the boss, and Karnor's is just super fun. A lot of these dungeons are going to be a tie, and I haven't even done a lot of the dungeons, which is crazy. What's some of the loot you can get from Vinral Sathir? What's my timer at? We need to 05. Ring of Scale, or no, it's not his loot. He's got a lot of loot, but he's kind of like a raid boss, right? Cobalt Greaves, Blood Ember Greaves, Jaundice Bone Greaves, lots of Greaves, gauntlets, staves. Pretty awesome. I forget what's the main thing you go there for. There's like a cloak or something you can get, like as a low-level player. I think there's something for like, for some quests. We got the Jarseth Scale Van Braces, the gift, Toland's Darkwood Boots, Baton of Faith, Milo Car's Boots, Jarseth Scale Leggings. I think this is like a Shaman's Paradise, right? Like, the Dalnir was Monk's Paradise. Karnor's is like a Shaman's Paradise, right? Jarseth Scale Gauntlets, Trident, Deepwater Gauntlets, Locust Lure, Jarseth Scale Boots, Book of Obulus, Milokar's Gauntlets. So just really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It's just like super concentrated, action-packed, especially right courtyard, left courtyard. And I'm sure there's other... Ooh, wow, that's even. I should probably fight it. But Karnor's Castle is one of my favorite, and I had to make it a tie with City of Mist. If you've never been to City of Mist, it's really fun. You know, you got the right side. I don't know what it's called. I forget, but it's like got the little water, and then it's got the little temple you pull from. There's a shortcut where you go up onto the walkway. That's really fun up there in the walkway. There's the moat, where you can go back into the back with the moat. City of Mist was really fun for my necromancer and my shaman, I think. Good grouping there, good soloing there. We did the moat for quite a while. The moat was really fun. Up on the balconies, or not the balcony, but the walkways is pretty fun, especially if you're like charm fighting and stuff like that. So shout out to City of Mist as another a really good dungeon. I guess I can't decide, man. I did Dalnir Unrest for number 5. I did Tower Frozen Shadow for number 4. And now I got City of Mist and Karnors for number 3. So hard to decide, man. All these dungeons are really fun. Alright, so number 2, my second favorite dungeon in the game would probably have to be Droga. I really love the Temple of Droga. You got, it's like one of the best places to farm plat. Because people need, faction for Shardok, I think is the main thing. So there is the goblin skin. The goblin skin and the dust that drops off of pretty much everything in the zone. And, you know, if you stack those up, you can go sell them for quite a bit in the tunnel for people that are just trying to do the quest with the goblin skin and the dust to get their faction up for Shardok. You can sell the stacks for like hundreds of plat. It's nice. It depends like what the market is at the time. Like sometimes you'll get only like 100 plat for a stack of dust and like 200 plat for the skin. But other times you'll get 500 plat for a stack of skin and like 250 for a stack of dust. So really cool. It's a good layout too. I like the layout of the dungeon. There is a good ring. I think it's a ring, right? Let's see. Soothsayer Dregzak has the Earring of Essence. It's like a super high HP ring. It's worth like a couple thousand plat. It's really good to go camp. Then you have like this other area that I go to. I forget what it's called. But you got Chief Ruckus, who drops the Ruckus sticker, the Idol of Thorned, the Essence of Dull, the Bodyguard with the Whip of Strangulation, the Circlet of Shadows, which used to be really, really good. It was like instant invisibility for like charm breaking, but they kind of nerfed it. Gauntlets of Potence. We got a Mountain Death Belt, a Bernie Legion Gi. And then you have a Fanatic that drops a Stone of Morid, a Tome of Eternal, and a Book of the Rings. Yeah, it's a really cool dungeon. You should check out, if you haven't done Droga ever, it's super fun, lots of plat, and there's cool camps there too. Like you can sit at a camp or you can just run around killing everything. And both ways really works. I usually go to the left, and like everybody else usually goes to like Soothsayer Dregzek or Chief Ruckus. I usually go the other way, and I forget what it's called, man. It's like 4 on the map here. The Table Room. I usually go to the Table Room and I'll just kill everything there. And there's also like a named that spawns there in the Table Room. It might be the Fanatic. No, that's in the Pool Room. There's a name that spawns in the Table Room too, so it doesn't drop anything like awesome. I lost track of this lizard. Where'd he go? I was too busy talking. Droga, definitely my second favorite dungeon. I go there all the time. When I have nothing else going on, I will go to Droga and just kill goblins over and over and over, get goblin skin. Where did this thing go? It's like up in the tree somewhere. He'll come find me eventually, I guess. There he is. Totally recommended. One of my favorite platforms in the game. And doesn't like matter if... The only time you can't really do it is if like there's a level 60... A group of level 60s just tearing through the zone. Getting faction. But you can go sit on like Soothsayer or Chief Ruckus or something and get some good loot. Or you can go sit at the table. The named that spawns there isn't the greatest, but it's okay. You can get like a book that's worth like 400 plat or something. All the while you're getting goblin skin and you know, salts, which are really good to sell in the tunnel. Now they don't sell like immediately. Sometimes you do have to sit on them for a little bit. Sometimes they do though. You'll go to the tunnel, they'll sell immediately. Wow, I need to break this camp a little bit. I just killed that dude, so he's going to spawn at like 11:10. I'm going to let that guy stand there for a minute. But yeah, shout out to Droga. All right, my #1 favorite dungeon in the game. Can you guess it? Put it below. I'm sure you guys have many different opinions because I just haven't been to a lot of these dungeons. I'll let you know. We'll go back over all of them, and I'll tell you all the ones I haven't been to. Then you got to tell me in the comments, like, which one I'm missing. Like, you haven't been there? Oh my god, you haven't been there? But just to do some little honorable mentions before we do #1. I really like Kern's Tower. I think that's a really good low-level dungeon. A bunch of undead. You can go up, and then you can also go down. Like there's the Bernie, I think, down in the basement, right? And then there's like if you go upstairs, there's also like skeletons in the basement and whatnot. But Kern's Tower is really fun, and you can do it for quite a while. I think from like level like 10 to 20 or something like that. It's super fun. So check out Kern's Tower if you've never been there. It's off of the Field of Bone. Um, nice little dungeon. Kern's Tower. Shout out to Kern's Tower. Mines of Nurga. Another shout out to that one. No one ever goes there. There's like some cool solo spots in there. If you go backwards up a waterfall, I have videos on all this stuff, by the way. Go backwards up a waterfall with my shaman, and then I was like root rotting stuff up there in this little hallway by the zone exit. And then like me and Trey or me and Faceless One went we like went through the entire zone. It was pretty cool. I thought it was like underutilized. Nobody goes there. Mines of Nurga. Shout out to that place. I'm just gonna give a couple of little shout out. Blackburrow. I have lots of nostalgia for Blackburrow, but you know, low level dungeon. Pretty much everybody's probably seen the whole thing. Crushbone. Shout out to Crushbone. But yeah, my #1 most favorite zone in the game, favorite dungeon in the game is Guck. I love Lower Guck. I love Upper Guck. I love both of them. So I'm gonna combine them together as my favorite dungeon, and it's a classic dungeon. So they knew how to do it right from the beginning, didn't they? Lower Guck, I like to go to Assassin Supplier and then like pull everything down there. So you got Assassin, Supplier, Savant, Executioner, Cavalier, Ritualist. You can do all of that at the same time. And it's really fun to practice like, you know, pooling with Lull or some sort of harmony type of deal. It's fun to like practice charm fighting down there, whether you're a necromancer or an enchanter. And there's all kinds of loot. You got the thick banded belt. You got the weight reducing bags. You know, you got like the paladin sword or the Shadowknight sword. You got the executioner's axe. Lots of fun stuff with that camp. And then if you go even deeper past like the safe room, there's Frenzy, which I've never done Frenzy. I don't think solo, but that's where the belt everybody wants drops, the flowing black silk sash that gives a haste buff. 6 minutes from now would be 12:14. The flowing black silk sash. You got the Archmagus, where you can get the robe, sick robe down there. You got the hand. You got the Lord or the King. I always get them confused. Which one is which? I think it's the Lord. The Lord is in Upper Guck or Lower Guck, and then the King is in Upper Guck. Is that how it goes? But he's pretty fun too. That room is pretty crazy with the frogs up top, and then you got the Lord there, and sometimes they'll have the short sword of Yakesha's, which is pretty sweet when that happens. What else is in Lower Guck? That's about it. You got the bedroom, you got Assassin Supplier, Ritualist, you got Cavalier, Executioner, all that business. And then there's just like other ways to go down there. You got Minotaurs down there. There's like so many places that people just don't go in Guck that is still pretty cool. Like Azure Sleeves, and there's just like Minotaurs and other things down there. If you go to like the less traveled areas of Guck, like the live side, for example, like you can have a lot of fun and find different camps that nobody ever shows. And it's pretty sweet. Then Upper Guck, just to combine it with Lower Guck, you got I think it's called the Scryer. I always get it wrong, but it's I can't remember if it's the Scryer, but in Upper Guck, let's see here. You got the Ancient Crocodile with the gator scale leggings. Everybody loves that, right? So that's cool in Upper Guck. You got to shout out Upper Guck for that, right? You got the Squire who drops, that's not the one, right? The Scryer drops the Bracelet of Woven Grass, which is a pretty cool camp for one of your first camps. You got the Lord, the Shin Lord. What else you got? Anyway, Upper Guk is really fun to explore because it's like super. I don't know. It gets bigger than you think. It goes deeper than you think. You got the Ghoulbane off the Shin Lord. So I guess the king is in Lower Guk and the Lord is in Upper Guk. But you got the Ghoulbane, which is pretty fun to go camp. We did that on my Necro. Me and Faceless One on his Druid. We camped that. And it was fun. I don't know why some people just don't go have some fun in Upper Guk and like explore. People just want to keep their faction. So that's the main thing. Is like most people want to keep their live side faction so they can run straight through Upper Guk to Lower Guk. But if you ain't worried about your faction, there's so much to explore in Upper Guk, and there's decent stuff there. Bracelet of Woven Grass, the Gator Scale leggings, or sleeves or whatever it was, the Ancient Crocodile, and you got the Lord with the Ghoulbane. All that stuff down there that you just never see. There's like mushroom men down there and all kinds of stuff. It's sweet. So Guk's always been my favorite. It's my go-to. If I just want to have some fun on EverQuest, I'll go to Guk, and I know I can find something to do. Even if everything's camped, Assassin Supplier, Frenzy, the AM, like if everything's camped, I can still find something to do. I feel like it's a really fun place to go. And just in Upper Guk is fun. You can go explore with a level 60 in Upper Guk, and you'll still have some fun. You can go try the Lord or something. But yeah, my favorite is Guk for sure. So just to wrap this video up, my #1 most favorite dungeon in the game was Lower Guk / Upper Guk. Just amazing. I can always have fun there. It's always something to camp. Undead, live side, dead side. It's amazing. It's super fun. One of my favorite dungeons ever. #2 was Droga, just for the plat potential. The camps there, you always can get money there. Like, it's just plat falling from the sky in Droga. And everybody needs their faction for Sharduk, so it's like a thing that'll never go out of style. Like, you're gonna need, they're gonna need their skins and their dust, and then even if you don't want to do that, you can go do the Earring of Essence or something else down there. Droga is super fun. #3, I had a tie between City of Mist and Karnor's Castle. Just both super solid dungeons with lots of action. You can get a group in either one of them, or you can mostly like group. I think City of Mist is easier to probably solo, and then Karnor's is probably better for grouping. But either place, like the Moat and City of Mist is so fun. The walkway, if you do the shortcut and you want to like charm fight up on the walkways, is fun. You can even go higher than that. I've never been much higher than the walkways, but you can go even higher than that. Like City of Mist is really fun. And then Karnor's Castle, right courtyard, left courtyard, some of the most action-packed groups I've ever had. Even if you're just by the moat, by the entrance, it's fun. Fun to pool, fun to be an enchanter. Like, Karnor's is really fun, too. #4 was Tower of Frozen Shadow. It's difficult, you know, the key thing with the jumping through the mirrors and whatnot, but that makes it fun, though. Like, the mechanic of that, you know, I did lose my body for a little bit. I did have to figure out how to summon my corpse, but hey, that made me a better Necro in the end. And, you know, try the level, like, right before the wedding. That place, you jump through the mirror, and Anamana Papa Poopa Peepa and Kara Mika are attacking you, like, right away, and it's not easy. But they also drop cool stuff with that bandage dagger, and there's even cooler stuff up higher, I bet. You got the genie guy who charmed my pet and killed me. Go check out the videos on Tower of Frozen Shadow. It's on my Exploring Valius playlist with my Necro. I'm going to go back there, by the way. I still need to get revenge. #5 was a tie between Unrest and Dalnir. Unrest is just a classic dungeon. Everybody knows about it. Main room is super fun whenever you can do it. There's danger. The hags coming down the stairs. Like, you know, if you're in the basement, you got tentacle terrors and werewolves. You get to look at cool enemies. If you're in the main room, you have the danger of the hags just running down the stairs all of a sudden. Fireplace has a decent, you know, the Ghoul Savant or whatever it is with the cap. And, you know, Hag Tower is really cool for soloing, and you can just jump out the window and go to the... Even just doing yard trash there with the jack-o'-lanterns, they look so cool. Like charming a jack-o'-lantern and making it your pet. Like, I had a lot of fun in Unrest. And then Dalnir, shout out to that because nobody ever talks about it. I probably need to break this camp a little bit. No one ever talks about Dalnir, man. You should go check it out, but be very careful. Like, maybe look into farming the oozes down there. They have some decent loot. Or just take your level 60 and just go look at it. Go explore it. It's, like, really fun with the Cly down there. They have a little church down there. They have, like, frog heads in, like, jars. And there's you can go so deep in there, and it's fun. And there is some good stuff there, too. And you have to drop down, and you can't get back up. So once you drop down, it's crazy. So if you've never been to Dalnir, if you're ever at the Brutes, maybe put a group together and go in there and check it out. You're probably going to die because it's crazy. But I don't know. It's fun. You should check it out if you've never seen it. Go check out Dalnir. Go check out Mines of Nurga. Go check out these dungeons that no one ever talks about. I have videos on them if you want to see it, on YouTube. But go check it out for yourself. Like, some really fun dungeons that no one ever talks about in Kunark. And I think it's like Mines of Nurga and Dalnir. Like, no one ever talks about those. Then you got Droga, but most people know about that because of the Shardok, faction stuff and the essence earring. But, yeah, that's my favorites. Put your favorites below. If we go through the whole list, once again, let me kill this guy while we go over the entire list again. So you can tell me, like, which ones I haven't seen that maybe I should go check out. Let me go to zones. Hopefully it's not nighttime. I need to get a thumbnail, too. It's 1 p.m., not bad. Alright, so all the dungeons, I'm going to do them all again, and you tell me which ones. Because Befallen I have seen. Shout out to Befallen. It's a nice little low-level dungeon. If you've never been all the way through Befallen, you should go check it out. There's, like, jail cells and stuff down there, I think, in the very bottom. If you've never been all the way down to the bottom of Befallen. It's pretty sweet. You should check that one out. It's kind of boring up top, but it gets cool towards the bottom. We got Black Burrow, super nostalgic. I haven't been there recently, but I used to go there back in the day, get those Null Fangs, do the quest. Khazak-Thul, that's one of my favorites. It'd probably be number 6. It's right in this zone. You got the throne room and the gators. You got the temple, the big pyramid thing with which is pretty sweet. Khazak-Thul's a good dungeon, too. Runny Eye Citadel is the first one I've never been to. I don't know why, but I've never been there. Should I go check it out? One of these days, I'm going to go on my Necro and go through every single dungeon I've never been in and make a playlist of it. High Keep I've never been to. I do want to go check that out pretty soon, though. Lower Guck I've definitely been. Sol B I've never been to Sol B. Najina, I have been in Najina, and I bet some of y'all have never been in Najina, just like you've never been in Dalnir or Mines of Nurga. Najina was pretty cool. We killed Najina herself and got her robe. There's a video out there on it if you've never seen Najina. That one has, like, jail cells. You can get stuck in a jail cell. Like, I don't know. It was really fun. Najina, you should go check Najina out. It's similar to, like I said, Mines of Nurga or Dalnir, where it's a neat dungeon that I don't think people give enough credit. We got Permafrost. I've never been there. I've seen it before, but I've never been there. Kanos Aqueducts, really low-level dungeon. I think my wizard went in there for a second. We got Soleil. I've never been there. I think there's goblins, right? Split Paw Lair, which is probably more gnolls, but I've never been there. Temple of Solstice Row, I've never been. Upper Guck, I've been quite a bit. Explored pretty good, which I think some people haven't. I think you go straight to Lower Guck, and you forget about, like, the Ghoulbane and stuff way down there in Upper Guck. Pretty fun. We got Crushbone. Been all through there. Kedge Keep. Underwater dungeon. I hate that. We tried it one time. We died and we left. Mistmore Castle. I've been like halfway through that. It seems pretty fun. But it feels like not many people actually get into the castle. And it's more about fighting outside of the castle. Unrest. Really good zone. But I think most people know about Unrest. It's like nothing you haven't heard of before, right? Everybody knows about Unrest. Shardok I've never been, but I do plan on going. So High Keep and Shardok are on my radar for sure. City of Mist, really fun. Really fun. The walkways, the moat. I had a lot of fun there. Dalnir. Definitely been. Said it was one of my favorites. You should check it out. Howling Stones, I need to go there bad. I need to get a key, I think, though. But most high-level Necros and Enchanters end up in Howling Stones eventually. I just haven't been there yet. K-Sora looks really cool, and I almost went there before, but then there's some sort of faction with K-Sora that I didn't want to mess up my faction. I think it was, like, OT faction, and I didn't want to mess it up on my Necro. But I've seen other people soloing in K-Sora, and it looked pretty fun. Karnor's one of my favorite ever. Kern's Tower, one of my favorite low-level dungeons. Mines of Nurga, really good solo spot. Cool to check out if you've never been. I think it's underrated and people don't go to it ever. Old Sibyllus, I've never been. Temple of Droga, been there a ton. I've been all the way through that whole zone, and it's my favorite platforming dungeon in the game. Vishon's Peak, I don't think I've ever been, maybe back in the day. Crystal Caverns, I'm about to check out. Probably be the very next dungeon I do check out that I've never been to. Would be Crystal Caverns on my Exploring Valius series. I'm going to go there soon. Dragon Necropolis, never been. Siren's Grotto seems like another Kedge Keep type of underwater bullcrap. Sleeper's Tomb, never been. That's super high level though, right? Temple of Vishon, never been. Tower of Frozen Shadow was awesome. Really fun. The key mechanic kind of stressed me out for a couple of days, but ended up liking it. I like difficult things, so Tower of Frozen Shadow, the wedding, Anamana Papa Pipa Poopa, and Kara Mika, the genie that charmed my pet. All super fun. We got Velcator's Labyrinth. I've never been, but I think that's another one I would end up at. Shout out to the Plane of Mischief, too. I think people would go there as well. But let me know if any of those are good or if I missed any. And, you know, tell me which dungeon to go to next that I've never been to. Because I would love to know. Looks like I'm full on loot. But that's a good spot to end. I think I need to get a little thumbnail, though. I kind of already got one. But, yeah, with this ogre, I was doing this camp right here. It's pretty much a forager camp. And, it's at the end of the path. If you're heading towards Inethul, you take, like, the last left before the left to go to Inethul. Because I think, like, you take a left to go to Inethul, but it's the left before that left. And if you just keep going, like, towards the wall, you'll hit this little camp. And at nighttime, it's really easy to find because of the fire. And what I was doing at level 5 and 6 so far is, you know, killing these two, 6-minute spawn. Then I would run along the wall with my shoulder, my right shoulder on the wall. I'd run along the wall, maybe get off the wall a little bit. And there's this little, like, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a bunch of jungle spiders with, like, this little, like, stone, I don't know what to call it. Like a stone little house thing. It's really just stones in the middle of nowhere. It kind of looks like a druid portal area, but it's not. And you'll see a bunch of jungle spiders and spiderlings right there. So I was going back and forth along the wall. I would hit this camp, kill these two, set my timer, run back to the jungle spider area with those stone blocks, kill some jungle spiders, some jungle spiderlings, maybe some scarabs. And then I would come back here when my timer went off, kill these two, bang, they're dead. Go back to the jungle spiders, kill some spiders, come back here, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it worked out. I got level 6, and I'm going to bubble in. Next up is probably going to be the skeletons out to the right once you leave Agok. If you go to the right and you swim through the water, there's some skeletons there. I think I'm going to try those next because they were yellow to me. There's some blue and there was some yellow, so I got killed by a yellow. So I think I'm going to go get revenge now that I'm level 6, maybe level 7. Because if this keeps working, I'm going to keep doing this, but, you know, I might go check out the skeletons in the next Shadowknight video. So yeah, put your favorite dungeons below. Like, share, subscribe. Consider joining. It helps a lot. Get about the channel comment below. Please subscribe, man. Let's get to 8K, and I know you guys are the ones that can do it. I feel like I've hit my glass ceiling on Gems of War, but I don't think we've hit it yet on EverQuest P99. So if you made it this far and you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. It'd help a lot. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Let's kill this thing, I guess, before we get out of here. Let's at least kill this guy. Yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. Remember, I'm moving, so you're getting videos like this. Not exactly, like, my best, but I'm trying to get y'all stuff every single Wednesday. So, make sure you're here every single Wednesday, because it helps a lot. If you remember, even no matter what the video is, you know, I'm going to have to do Exploring Valius zones that you probably don't care about, like Kale or something, or, you know, Thurgadin, but if you guys support those videos, it really helps a lot. And it makes me want to do, like, it makes me want to do extra, and it makes me want to put extra effort in, and it makes me want to play the game more, and maybe do more videos, and maybe do more than just Wednesday. So, the more you guys do, the more I'll do, and that's always how it's worked. But, yeah, I'll see you guys. Have a good one. You're the best. Like, share, subscribe. Consider joining. Helps a lot too. Get about the channel comment below, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.